Hello everyone, welcome to my class. Today we'll learn about truss analysis. And I believe you have some basic idea about truss analysis, what you have learned in your C105 engineering mechanics course. I believe that will be very helpful in this course. Let's draw a truss first. I'm drawing a very basic truss. Let me put ABCD. So this is a truss, right? And there is the 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13. There is 13 members and two support. One is pin support and another one is roller support. Okay, so actually truss analysis means you have to determine the magnitude of the force acting in each bar. As there is 13 member, so you have to calculate the force in the each members. And for your information, at each bar there is only axial force, no shear force or moment. Only axial force exists in truss members. And axial force are in two types. One is compression, another one is tension. So which one is compression and which one is tension? Let's talk about AB bar. So this is AB bar. If the force act like this in the outer direction, that is called tension force. And if the opposite happens, I mean like this, if the force acting in the same direction, that is called compression. And usually we denote tension as plus sign and compression as minus sign. Now we will discuss about the methods to solve a truss. Actually there is two methods. One is joint method and another one is section method. In this lecture we will learn about joint method. So let's take a real example. So here is our real truss, and you can see that pin support at A point, and there is a roller support at E point, and there is some external load at B, C, N, F, D points, and you can see the dimensions here. This is the vertical dimensions and this is the horizontal dimension. So what is the first step to solve any truss? Remember that at first you have to solve the reactions. Okay, as this is a pin support, there is two type of reactions. One is vertical, another one is horizontal. And as this is a roller support, there is only one unidirectional reaction, and that is say RE. And at A point, let's this is RAX and this is RAY. So your first task is to determine the magnitude of these reactions. And you know, if any structure is to be static, then definitely the structure should fulfill three conditions. And what is these conditions? First of all, the summation of f of x should be equals to 0, summation of f of y is equals to 0, and summation of moment at any point should be equals to 0. These are the three conditions. And with these three formulas, we will be able to solve these three unknowns. So let's apply the first formula. If I take summation of f of x is equals to 0, what I will get? There is only one force, that is Rax in the x direction and in the positive x direction, right? So Rax. And I find no more forces in the x direction. So that is why Rax is equals to 0, because the summation of f of x should be equals to 0. If there exists any force in the x direction, say at D point, if there are any force in the 400 or anything like that, then we would consider the force in this formula. So in this case, Rx is equals to 0. Now let's apply the second formula. Before that, I should clean my board. Now let's apply summation of f of y is equals to 0. So let's start with Ray. We know from the Cartesian coordinate system, the right side of the horizontal portion or x is positive and the left side is negative, and the upper portion is positive and the lower portion is negative. So as this is in the upside, so let's take it as positive. So Ray and 400, this is vertically downward, that is why negative, minus 400, minus again 400, and this is again minus 400, and this is minus 1200 minus 1000. And what about Re? This is in the upward direction, that is why positive. Okay, is equals to 0. So if I write here Ray plus Re is equals to, let me calculate, a total of 3400. Okay. Now your next task is to apply formula number 3, I mean summation of m at any point is equals to 0. Let me clear my board. Now if I apply summation of m at a is equals to, that would be equals to 0, and if I take moment at a point, definitely RAX and RAY won't give any moment. So 400 pound, that will give a moment. And what is the magnitude of the moment? And we know that moment is equals to actually force into distance. So we should know the magnitude of the force and the distance. The magnitude of the force is 400. We just need to find the distance, and the distance is AAs, and that is 10 feet. So 400 into 10, and as the arrow sign in the downward direction, that will produce a clockwise moment. Okay, if you take A as a center, then 400 will rotate clockwise. So that is why let's take clockwise direction as positive. Actually, there is no fixed rule that you have to take clockwise direction as positive. That's your wish. But if you take clockwise direction as a positive, then definitely you should take the anti-clockwise as negative, and vice versa. So I'm taking clockwise direction as positive. Now, if I calculate the moment for 400 pound force acting at C point, and the magnitude of the force is 400, but the distance is 20 feet, I can write 400 into 20. And for this 1200, that is plus 1200 into 20 again, because 400 and 1200 acting in the same line, and this is 400 again, and this is 1000. So that will be 400 into the distance. The distance is now 10, 10, 20, 20 and 10, 30, and same thing about 1000 into 30. And whatever the moment of at RE, that you can see that the arrow direction or the sign is in the upward, so that is why RE will produce a anti-clockwise moment. So that's why I'm putting a negative sign here, and I can write RE times the total distance. So what is the total distance? 10, 10, 10, 10, I mean total 40, and that is equals to 0. Now calculate the magnitude of the RE. Here is the only one unknown force, and that is RE. So let me calculate. After calculating, I got RE is equals to 1950 pound. There might be any calculation error, please check yourself. Okay, so we got RE is equals to 1950, and earlier we have seen that RAY plus RE is equals to 3400. Now we know the magnitude of the RE, and that is how we can get the magnitude of RAY. Now let me put the value here, 1950 equals to 3400. So the value of RAY is equals to 1450. So actually that is your first step. So we got RA 1450 and RE 1950 pound. Now what should you do? As we are talking about the joint method, so actually now I will draw a free body of the joint A. And you know there is actually two member, one is AB and another one is AAs acting at joint A. So if you draw a free body, let me draw here. This is A point and this is FAAs acting in this direction. This is FAB, and there is another force 1450. Now your next task is to observe whether these force are in X direction or in Y direction. I can see that the FA is in the X direction, but so that's why you need to divide FAB actually FAB into components. And we know this can be divided into two components. One is horizontal components and another one is vertical component. Now if you know the angle, say this is theta, so that will be also theta as the similar angle, then it would become FAB cos theta, and this is FAB sin theta. But the problem is you don't know the angle, right? What is the angle here? I don't know. But if you look very clearly, there is some dimension, right? That is 10 feet and there is 10 feet. So if you make a triangle, that will become 1:1. Why? Because 10 feet divided by 10 feet, so that is 1:1, and this side will be root over 2 according to Pythagoras theorem. Now from this triangle you can see as the perpendicular 1, base 1 and hypotenuse is equals to 2, we can write cos theta. What is cos theta? Cos theta actually base divided by hypotenuse, that is 1 by root 2. And what is sin theta? Sin theta is equals to perpendicular divided by hypotenuse, that is 1 by root 2. So we can write the magnitude of cos theta as 1 by root 2, and same thing is for sin theta is equals to 1 by root 2. So let me put the value here. So actually instead of cos theta, now I will write 1 by root 2, same thing here. Instead of sine theta, I will write 1 by root 2. So that will be actually FAB into 1 by root 2, and here actually we write FAB into 1 by root 2. Now let's apply summation of f of x here. So if I write summation of f of x is equals to 0, what I will get? So let's write here. FAS is acting the positive x-axis, that is why FAS plus FAB into 1 by root 2. Okay, there is no more force in the x-axis, so is equals to 0. So this is equation 1. And now if you take summation of f of y is equals to 0, what you will get? At first let me take 1450 as this is in the upper direction, that is why this is positive, plus there is only one force, another force, that is FAB into 1 by root 2. So plus FAB into 1 by root 2 is equals to 0. Now in the second equation there is only one unknown, that is FAB, so you can calculate that. So from this equation I can say FAB is equals to actually minus 1450 into root 2. Okay, so that's the magnitude of FAB. Now note that we got minus. How do you mean by minus? Actually if you get the minus sign, that means in AB bar then the force actually acting like this, so that is why in AB bar in compression. Now put the value of FAB in the equation 1. So if you put the value of FAB here, you will get FAs, and the value of FAB is equals to minus, so minus 1450 times 1 by root 2 is equals to 0. So here root 2 cancel out, and FAs is equals to 1450, and this is positive. So now let's go back to our truss, and we got two value. One is FAB, and that is FAB, that is minus 1450 root 2, and FAs, and that is 1450. Now if I take the free body diagram of ACE joint, what will I get? So this is ACE, this is ACE point. In this direction FAB ACE, and in direction FACE-N, in the upper direction FBA. So now if you take summation of f of x is equals to 0, what will happen? FAS will be negative. Why? Because this is acting in the left side of the x-axis, so that is why FAS, so minus FAS, and plus FACE-N is equals to 0. So I can write FACE-N is equals to FAS, and the magnitude is 1450. So this is very simple. Now let's take summation of f of y is equals to 0. So if you take summation of f of y is equals to 0, what you will get? There is only one force acting in the y direction, that is FBAs, and that is equals to 0. There is no more forces in the y direction. So actually we have solved 4 members, right? This is actually 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's move forward at point B. So let me draw the free body of B point. Okay, so this is B point. In this direction FBC, in this direction FAB, the vertical direction FBAs, and the inclined direction F. Let me draw the axis here. This is x-axis and this is y-axis. The formula is same, and that is we have only two formulas: summation of f of x is equals to 0 and summation of f of y is equals to 0. And here there is 1, 2, 3, 4, total 4 members, but actually we know the value of FB and FBAs. The value of BAs is 0 and FAB is equals to minus 1450 root over 2. And now we need to calculate the value of FBC and FBN. You can see that both the force FBC and FBN are inclined, so that is why you have to divide FBC into components, actually horizontal and vertical components, and same thing is applicable for FBN. You have to divide this in horizontal and vertical components. So if I draw the figure here, actually the components of FBN will be like this in the two direction, and the component of FBC will be in two direction. One is upper direction and another one is right direction. We need the dimension, right? What is the dimension? So let's go back to our slide. You can see that I consider from B point the height from B to C or distance is 10 feet, and the distance between B point and end point is equal to again 10 feet. So if I draw the triangle is 1 1 and that side will be root 2, and in for this case this is also 1 1 and this is root 2. Now let's divide the forces into components. One thing I forgot to mention, that if AB is also an inclined force, that is why you have to divide FAB into components again. And we saw that the triangle is here also 1 1 and root 2. And actually what will be the components direction? FAB, as FAB is in the this direction, FAB in the this direction, that is why FAB one component in the this direction and another one is downward. Now if you take summation of f of y is equals to 0, what you will get? Summation of f of y is equals to 0. This is in the y direction but the magnitude is 0. So let's take from this force, this is FBC. So FBC, and what is the horizon, what is the vertical component? That is 1 by root 2. So 1 by root 2. And what is the vertical component of FBN? The downward direction and negative, that is why minus FBN 1 by root 2. And what is the component of FAB? This is also in the downward negative and 1 by root 2. So again minus FAB into 1 by root 2 is equals to 0. Now we can eliminate 1 by root 2 from both sides. So then we will get FBC minus FBN. Please consider my bad handwriting. FAB is equals to 0. And now FBC minus FBN is equals to FAB, and we know the magnitude of FAB. Now what is that? Minus 1450 root 2. Okay, this is one equation. Now you should apply summation of f of x is equals to 0. So let's apply summation of f of x is equals to 0. So let's talk about FBC. About FBC, this is the x component and this is in the positive x-axis. Okay, that is why FBC will be positive FBC, and the component is 1 by root 2. Then what about FBN? The component in x positive x direction, that is why this will be positive. So positive FBN into 1 by root 2. And what about FAB? The component is negative x-axis. The component is along negative x-axis. That is why this is minus FAB into 1 by root 2 is equals to 0. So again we can eliminate 1 by root 2 from every side. Then we will get as FBC plus FBN as FAB. Now we got two equations. This is equation 2. So now if you solve from these two equations, what you will get? This is FBC plus FBN is equals to minus 1450 root 2. Again FBC minus FBN is equals to minus 1450 root 2. So FBC is equals to 1450. Sorry, I forgot the minus sign. So this is FBC. And what about FBN? If you put the value here, you will get FBN as 0. So now we have find out the magnitude of FAB, FA is BN, sorry, A is N, BA is BN, and BC. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have solved the total 6 members. Actually the task is same. Now you should take the free body of C point, D point, N point, F point, and E point. Okay, I will suggest you should start from E point. So after watching my video, this is your task. You have to find the magnitude of the FCN, CN, CD, ND, NF, and EF. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, find out the magnitude of the rest of the 7 members. Now we will solve another truss, and definitely in the joint method. So this is our truss. Actually, what is the difference between these two truss? You can see that previously I have provided some dimension, right? Horizontal dimension and vertical dimension. But here I am giving you the horizontal dimension, but actually I have added the angles here. Okay, and here look at the question. Determine the bar force in the member AB, AZ, ZB, GF and BF. Okay, normally actually solving the truss means you have to find out the magnitude in each bar. Okay, but in the examination the teachers might ask you some specific member like AB, AZ, GF. Then if I ask you to find the magnitude of AB and you have find out the magnitude of D, that won't be fair. Okay, just look at the question first, see whether the teacher has asked any specific questions. So let me ask you one question. What I have told earlier in this video lecture, that the first step to solve any truss member is to find out the reactions. Okay, so I can see that there is a pin support at A point and roller support at D point. So at first you have to determine the magnitude of these reactions, and as this is pin support, there will be two reaction, that is in horizontal direction AX and vertical direction AY, and at D point only vertical direction because this is the roller support. Now let's take summation of f of x is equals to 0. If you take summation of f of x is equals to 0, again ax is equals to 0. Why? Because there is no external forces in the x direction. So now let's take about summation of f of y is equals to 0. If you take summation of f of y is equals to 0, what will happen? As ay in the upper direction and dy in the upper direction, so you can write ay plus dy, and 3 in the negative downward, that is why it is negative, so minus 3 minus 2 minus 3, so minus 3 minus 2 minus 3 is equals to 0. So ay plus dy is equals to 8. So this is equation 1. Now you have to apply the third formula, and that is summation of m at any point is equals to 0. So let's take moment at point D. Okay, if you take moment at point D, what will happen? As a is equals to 0, I'm ignoring it. Okay, let's talk about ay. The direction of ay in upper direction, that is why at D point ay will produce a clockwise moment. So let's take as positive, clockwise direction as positive direction. So ay the force, and we need the distance, and the distance is 4 plus 4 plus 4, that is 12. So ay times 12, so that is positive ay times 12. Now let's talk about the 3 as the arrow sign in the downward, so negative moment as anti-clockwise, minus, and as this is 30 degree, so and 3 in the perpendicular direction, so definitely it will intersect at the middle point. So as AB is equals to 4 meter, then it will be 2 meter. So the distance is 4 meter plus 4 meter, 8 meter plus 2 meter, so total 10 meter. So 3 into 10, and that is minus. Why? Because if you think the downward direction, so it will produce a anti-clockwise moment. Now let's talk about this 2 kilonewton force. This will also act at the middle point. So the force is 2 kilonewton and the distance is 4 plus 2, that is 6. So minus 2 into 6. Then 3 kilonewton, that is also in the middle point. So that's the distance is 2 meters. So 3 times 2 and negative, because it will produce also anti-clockwise moment. Now if you calculate from this equation, you will get ay is equals to 4 kilonewton, and I have just shown you that ay plus dy is equals to 8. So what is the magnitude of dy now? So dy will also be 4. Okay. Now we'll take the free body of joint A. So this is the free body of joint A. If you look very closely, this is the free body of A. FAB in the x direction and FAZ in the incline, and as the value of ay is equals to 4, so that is why a is a 4. Now you can see that FAZ is an inclined force, so that is why you have to divide it into two components. One is horizontal component, another one is vertical component, and then you should take summation of f of x and f of y. At joint A, if you take summation of f of y is equals to 0, what will happen? The 4 in the upper direction, that is why this is positive 4, and the two components of FAZ, one is x direction, x horizontal component, another one is vertical component. So vertical component will be FAZ sine theta, as the angle is with the horizontal axis. So the horizontal component will be FAZ cos theta. Let me draw here. So this is the free body of A point, right? So if you divide it FAZ into two components, this will be like this, and the angle is 30 degrees. So the horizontal component will be F AZ cos 30 degree, and the vertical component will be F AZ sin 30 degree. Now if you take summation of f of y is equals to 0, what will happen? This force is acting in the vertically upward, so let's take as positive f AZ sin 30, and the 4 is also in the positive direction, so plus 4 is equals to 0. Now you will be able to solve the equation. AZ is equals to minus 8, as this is minus, that is why this is compression, I mean C. And if you take summation of f of x, f AB plus f az cos 30 is equals to 0, so FAB is equals to plus 6.92 cube. As this is positive, that is why this is called in tension, so T indicates tension. Now you should take the free body of G. Why? Because I have asked you to solve GB, GF and BF. Okay, so let's take the free body of G. This is the free body of Z. This is FAZ. This is the external load 3. This is FGF and this is FGB. Now let me draw the axis here. This is y-axis and this is the x-axis. Now you might ask how I got the angles. Say, when you look closely, if you draw a line parallel to AB, from our high school life, we learned about that if two lines are parallel, if any line intersect them, then this angle and this angle is same. This is called similar angle, and definitely this angle and this angle will also be equal. This is called alternative angle. So that is how we got, as this is 30 degree, this angle, if you draw line, this will be 30 degree, and this is 30 degree, so this angle will also be 30. So as this is 30, the opposite angle is 30. Now you have to divide the forces into components. So FAZ, what will happen? Let me draw here. So this is FGF, this is FAZ, this is FGB, and if you draw a horizontal line, the vertical direction, this is 3, this angle is 30 degree, this is also 30 degree, and this is 30 degree. Now we have to divide the forces into components. So the vertical component of FGF will be like this, and this is the horizontal component, and for this is the horizontal and this is the vertical. So vertical and horizontal. How to will be like this? How to will be this? This will be FGF, as this is 30 cos 30. This will be FGF sin 30, as this is 30 degree. This is FGB cos 30. This is FGB sin 30, as this is 30 degrees. So AZ cos 30, and this will be FAZ sin 30. Okay. Now your task is to take two formula. One is summation of f of x is equals to 0 and summation of f of y is equals to 0. Let's calculate now. If you take summation of f of x is equals to 0, what you will get? FGF in the positive x-axis. So if you look at this, FGF, then FGB, and minus FAZ, cos, everything is cos 30, cos 30, cos 30. So look from this figure, FGF, FGB and FAZ. So FGF, FGB and FAZ, and these two forces are in the right side of x-axis. That is why this is positive, but this is negative because this is in the left side. So we can write this, and if you take summation of f of y is equals to 0, you will get FGF, positive FGF, negative FGB because this is in the downward, this is also downward, negative FAZ, and last of all the minus 3 external force. So let's look here. FGF sin 30 only positive, FGB negative, FAZ negative, and minus 3. So now we got two equations. This is one equation, this is another equation, and we have two unknown, that is FGF and FGB, and you know how to solve this, right? You have elimination method, matrix method, substitution method, and you know that. So if you solve, or using, you can also use calculator. So solving these two equations, we get FGF as minus 5 kip and FGB as minus 3. So both of the forces are minus, that is why the compression C. So actually we have find out the magnitude of FAB, FAZ, GB and GF. Now we have to find the value of FBF. So for that you should take the free body diagram of B point. So that is the B point. So actually I want you to find the value of FBF alone. I'm providing you some hints. At first, as you can see, FBF and FGB are inclined forces. So definitely you should divide FBF and FGB into components. So what will be the components? The horizontal component of FBB will be in this direction and vertical component in the upper direction. And for FGF, the horizontal component will be the left side and the vertical component will be in the upper side. And the next task is similar. So if you take summation of f of x, so if you take summation of f of y is equals to 0, you will get FGB positive sine 13 cos 30 in the x-axis and plus FBF sine 60 degree. So that is how you got FBF is equals to 1.73 kip. Okay, so this is our second example. If you have any problem, my suggestion is please watch the video from the beginning again. Then in the module you can discuss with your friends. So that's all from today.